Every innocent bite you take hides a ruthless, mechanized bloodbath. Forget storybook farms. Your food is the survivor of a terrifying subterranean siege, violently ripped from the earth by crushing steel and judged by unforgiving AI. The brutal truth will permanently shatter your reality. Imagine tasting a single grain of sugar. It dissolves on your tongue, sweet, innocent, and entirely ordinary. But what if I told you that behind that fleeting moment of sweetness lies a ruthless, billion-dollar battlefield? A synchronized global empire where nature is bent to the will of heavy steel, and where a single inch of inefficiency can flatline an entire generational legacy. Forget the storybook farms and the gentle farmer waiting for the rain. What you are about to witness is a mechanized bloodbath of efficiency, a masterclass in survival that the world desperately tries to hide behind bright grocery store packaging. Once you see the cold, hard mechanics of how this sweetness is violently extracted from the earth, you will never look at your morning coffee the same way again. At Nluvuong, 04 warmly welcomes you, ladies and gentlemen. If this journey into the hidden, hyper-optimized heart of our world captivates you, please hit that subscribe button. Your support is the raw fuel that motivates this channel to keep tearing down the curtain and bringing you these profound, heavy-duty reality checks. Now, let us step into the suffocating humidity of Brazil, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the sugar empire. We are not talking about a quaint community garden. We are standing at the edge of a green ocean that churns out over 700 million tons of sugarcane a year. Stand there and feel the weight of that number. It takes 10 massive, towering stalks of cane just to bleed out 1 single kilogram of sugar. Multiply that by the endless shelves across the globe, and the sheer scale is terrifying. There used to be a dark, cinematic romance to this harvest. I remember hearing stories of the old days when they would set the entire plantation on fire before the machines rolled in. The night sky would ignite, burning away the razor-sharp leaves and driving out the vipers. It was a dramatic spectacle, but underneath the flames, it was an environmental tragedy. It poisoned the lungs of the workers, choked the atmosphere, and scorched the living earth. Today, that fiery romance is dead, replaced by something far more formidable: green harvesting. Instead of fire, we unleash mechanized predators. Picture a massive steel leviathan that costs more than a fleet of luxury sports cars, prowling silently through the dense green walls. It does not just cut, it devours. With rotating base cutters, it slices the stalks directly at ground level, inhaling the cane into its steel belly, where hydraulic rollers violently strip away the dirt and the leaves. In a single hour, this beast consumes what would take a dairy cow over a month of nonstop chewing. And it dances in perfect, deadly synchronization with a heavy transport truck driving mere inches away. One wrong move off the invisible GPS grid, and the entire symphony collapses into twisted metal. But the true genius, the beating heart of this operation, reveals itself at the mill. This is no mere factory. It is a sprawling altar to the circular economy. The crushed, lifeless stalks, known as bagasse, are not simply discarded into the wind. Once burned as cheap trash, this fibrous skeleton is now resurrected into biodegradable gold, meticulously molded into plates and packaging that dissolve back into the earth in mere weeks, directly fighting our global plastic plague. Meanwhile, the dark, muddy juice extracted from the crushing weight of the steel rollers is subjected to absolute chemical engineering. It is choked with slaked lime to drag the heavy impurities to the bottom, then thrust into massive vacuum evaporators. By boiling the liquid in a vacuum, the water vaporizes at a radically lower temperature. It is a desperate, brilliant maneuver to slash million-dollar energy costs and save the profit margins from bleeding out. Finally, the thickened, heavy syrup is thrown into colossal centrifuges spinning at a mind-bending 1,000 revolutions per minute. The intense, invisible G-force mercilessly rips the dark, heavy molasses away from the pure, crystalline sucrose. Before a human hand can even cast a shadow over it, automated lines seal it away in pristine bags. It is a breathtaking, brutal cycle of life, destruction, and rebirth, proving that in the modern agricultural empire, survival is an absolute masterpiece of engineering. If the sugar mill is a magnificent testament to what we can extract from the sunlit world above, The modern potato harvest is a brutal, calculated war waged entirely in the dark beneath our feet. Think about the sheer arrogance of it. We are not just snipping leaves or plucking fruits from a hanging branch. We are plunging heavy steel deep into the dense, unyielding crust of the earth to rip out its hidden treasures. I used to look at a simple baked potato and see peasant food, a humble staple of the lower classes. Now, I see the hard-won spoils of a subterranean siege. The machines built for this specific theater of war are entirely different beasts from the towering cane choppers. When you stand near a modern, multi-row potato harvester, the ground beneath your boots literally vibrates with violent intent. It thrusts massive, angled steel shears directly into the soil, swallowing everything in its path: dirt, roots, rocks, and potatoes, in one massive, indiscriminate gulp. The true genius here is not in the cutting, but in the violently elegant art of separation. Inside the cavernous belly of the machine, a chaotic ballet of sifting web chains immediately begins. These heavy chains vibrate at precise, calculated frequencies, shaking the loose dirt back into the field while retaining the solid mass. But the earth does not give up its bounty without a fight. Rocks and heavy clods of mud constantly disguise themselves as potatoes, threatening to shatter the delicate processing equipment down the line. To witness how modern engineering solves this problem is to witness sheer mechanical sorcery. Through a complex system of axial rollers and incredibly precise air vacuums, the heavier stones sink and the lighter debris is blown away, leaving only the pristine, starch-filled tubers to ride the conveyors. It is a deafening, dust-choked environment that smells heavily of raw, overturned earth and burning diesel. The operators sitting in the climate-controlled cabs above are like generals surveying a chaotic battlefield, their eyes darting across a dozen monitors detailing ground density, conveyor speed, and hopper capacity. They must adjust the pitch and speed of the webs on the fly, constantly balancing on a razor's edge. Vibrate the chains too slowly, and you choke the entire machine with mud. Vibrate them too aggressively, and you bruise the crop, instantly turning thousands of dollars of premium produce into worthless livestock feed. This underground extraction is a heavy, grinding labor that serves as a stark reminder that no matter how technologically advanced we become, we still have to physically fight the mud and the stones to feed ourselves. Yet, tearing hardened roots from the cold mud requires a blunt, grinding force, which is a far cry from the terrifyingly gentle precision required when the earth offers up something fragile. Imagine trying to catch a water balloon falling from a 3-story building using a pair of steel pliers. That is the inherent paradox of the industrial tomato harvest. For decades, we were confidently told that certain crops simply could not be mechanized. Tomatoes, being naturally soft, easily bruised, and prone to bursting under pressure, were considered the exclusive domain of human hands. But the relentless, global drive for agricultural efficiency does not accept the word impossible. Watching a modern tomato harvester tear through a sprawling field is an exercise in intense cognitive dissonance. You see this hulking, metallic behemoth rolling toward the delicate vines, fully expecting a massacre. Instead, what you witness is a masterclass in controlled acceleration. The machine severs the plant at the root, pulling the entire vine up into a massive shaking drum. The vibration here is not the violent, earth-shattering thrashing used for potatoes. It is a rapid, oscillating shimmy, meticulously tuned to the exact frequency required to snap the stem without bruising the skin of the fruit. The red gold falls away from the green vines in a beautiful, cascading waterfall. But here is where the true science fiction element kicks in. Not every single tomato on that vine is perfectly ripe. In a fraction of a second, as the fruit flies off the internal belts, advanced optical sensors scan every single individual tomato. We are talking about high-speed cameras capturing thousands of frames per second. If the sensor detects the green hue of an unripe tomato or the dark spot of rot, a microscopic computer fires a targeted, high-pressure blast of compressed air, violently knocking the bad fruit out of the trajectory while the perfect, crimson spheres land softly onto the sorting belt. It happens so incredibly fast that the human eye cannot even process the physical rejection. You just hear a continuous, staccato popping sound, like a tiny machine gun, as the rejects are blasted back into the dirt. It is absolutely mesmerizing to behold. The sheer audacity to build a machine that marries the brute force of a heavy diesel engine with the delicate touch of a watchmaker and the visual processing power of an advanced AI completely shattered my previously held understanding of what agricultural machinery is capable of achieving. While fragile fruits demand a velvet touch clad in iron and silicon, the endless plains of wheat and corn demand something else entirely. An armada of unstoppable, rolling leviathans. Stepping out into the American Midwest or the vast, sweeping steppes of Eastern Europe during the autumn harvest is like walking onto the active deck of an aircraft carrier during wartime. The scale is so massive, so incomprehensibly vast, that the human mind actually struggles to process the horizon. This is the undisputed realm of the combine harvester, the terrifying king of the modern agricultural empire. You do not just send out one machine to do this job. You deploy a synchronized fleet. These golden oceans of grain stretch for hundreds of miles, and when the moisture levels in the crop hit that absolute, mathematical sweet spot, the clock immediately starts ticking. Nature does not care about our schedules or our profit margins. A sudden rainstorm or an unexpected, early frost can completely wipe out millions of dollars of grain overnight. So the harvest instantly becomes a desperate, non-stop race against the atmosphere. I have stood in the bitter cold and watched these combines operate under harsh halogen floodlights at 2 in the morning, their massive headers, some stretching over 50 feet wide, devouring the stalks in a terrifyingly rhythmic, sweeping motion. Inside the belly of the machine, a rapidly spinning threshing drum aggressively beats the grain from the chaff, a violent separation process that fills the night air with a thick, golden dust that coats your lungs and sticks to your skin. It is visually beautiful, but it is deeply, unapologetically industrial. The raw logistics required to keep this armada moving without interruption are staggering. Heavy grain carts, pulled by massive articulated tractors, pull up directly alongside the moving combines, receiving thousands of bushels of grain through an extended auger on the fly, without a single operator ever taking their foot off the gas pedal. It is a high-speed, high-stakes ballet of heavy machinery, coordinated via GPS and satellite telemetry down to the exact centimeter. If a combine stops moving, the entire financial ecosystem of that farm begins to bleed. So, they simply do not stop. They push through the mental fatigue, through the choking dust, and through the dead of night, relentlessly extracting the foundational calories that will keep half the world alive for another year. It is a grueling, magnificent spectacle of endurance that permanently strips away the romanticized illusions of storybook farming. Ultimately, this relentless extraction from the field, whether it be crushed stalk, unearthed root, or threshed golden grain, inevitably funnels into the final judgment hall, the hyperspeed sorting and processing facilities that dictate the future of our food. This is the exact threshold where the dirt, sweat, and chaos of the raw harvest meet the sterile, unforgiving perfection of modern algorithms. Walking into one of these mega facilities feels like stepping directly into the cold, calculating brain of a supercomputer. The deafening roar of the heavy diesel engines is gone, replaced entirely by the high-pitched, electric whine of conveyor belts moving at terrifying velocities. Millions upon millions of harvested units pour into the enclosed system, and this is where humanity fully relinquishes its control to the machine. We have deliberately built sorting matrices equipped with infrared cameras, ultraviolet scanners, and deep learning artificial intelligence models that scrutinize every single kernel, every single bean, and every single piece of fruit with a level of scrutiny that borders on absolute paranoia. I once stood paralyzed on a catwalk, watching a continuous cascade of white rice grains in free fall. In the span of a single blink, a master optical sorter analyzed the exact color, shape, and density of tens of thousands of individual grains, utilizing microjets of air to shoot the microscopic flawed ones out of the stream midair. It is a level of godlike judgment applied directly to our daily sustenance. We casually demand this absolute perfection every time we walk into a brightly lit grocery store. We want our produce utterly unblemished, our flour flawlessly pure, and our sugar blindingly white. Yet we rarely stop to think about the technological violence and mechanical filtering required to deliver that exact standard. This entire journey, from the heavy steel blades tearing through the dark earth to the silent, invisible algorithms judging the harvest in the sterile cold, is a profound testament to human ingenuity and our desperate, underlying need to control the wild, chaotic forces of nature. We have conquered the earth not with gentle, nurturing hands, but with crushing hydraulic pressure, blinding laser precision, and an unyielding, collective will to survive against the odds. It is cold, it is incredibly heavy, and it is undeniably brilliant. The next time you sit down at a table for a simple meal, look closely at the food on your plate and realize that it is a survivor. It has successfully passed through a terrifying gauntlet of blades, vibrations, and lasers just to reach you. PHNKT. The journey from a muddy field to a pristine grocery store aisle is nothing short of a modern miracle, forged in the fires of human ingenuity and relentless industrial power. We often take the food on our plates for granted, viewing it as simple sustenance provided by a romanticized vision of nature. Yet, as we have seen through the subterranean sieges of potato harvests, the delicate, high-speed sorting of tomato vines, the golden armadas sweeping across grain oceans, and the terrifyingly precise AI algorithms judging every grain of rice, modern agriculture is a fiercely calculated war. It is an awe-inspiring paradox where brute force diesel engines meet the surgical precision of microscopic air vacuums and optical sensors. We have engineered our way out of starvation by bending the chaotic forces of nature to our exact will, demanding unblemished perfection through sheer technological dominance. This massive, intricate ecosystem operates around the clock, hidden in plain sight, to deliver the foundational calories that keep our world spinning. The food we consume is no longer just a product of sunlight and soil. It is a hard-won survivor of a grueling mechanical gauntlet. Recognizing this shatters the pastoral illusion, but replaces it with a profound respect for the staggering logistics, engineering, and human endurance required to feed billions. We are not just eating crops. We are consuming the end result of humanity's ultimate triumph over the elements. The deep lesson hidden within this agricultural matrix is that extraordinary, invisible effort is the foundation of our everyday conveniences. We are conditioned to expect flawless perfection, whether in a spotless apple or a seamless daily service, without acknowledging the relentless friction, engineering, and sacrifice required to produce it. In our own lives, we frequently overlook the grueling harvest phases of our personal and professional goals, expecting immediate, unblemished results. To apply this to your daily life, start practicing radical appreciation and resilience. First, change your relationship with everyday consumption. When you understand the monumental gauntlet that a single grain of rice or a simple potato must survive to reach your table, wasting it becomes unthinkable. Second, when you face chaotic, seemingly insurmountable obstacles, adopt the mindset of the agricultural engineer. Do not just rely on brute force. Combine your hard work with precise, calculated adaptation. Break down your monumental tasks into manageable processes, filtering out the stones from your harvest with careful intention. Understand that achieving your own ultimate goals will always require navigating through dirt, friction, and fatigue long before you ever reach the clean, finished product. After learning about the incredible technological gauntlet our food goes through, which everyday food item will you never look at the same way again? Please take a moment to drop your answer in the comments below. We would love to read your perspectives and spark a great discussion. If you found this deep dive fascinating, please hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Your support gives us the absolute motivation to keep bringing you more high-quality, eye-opening content.